Part 1, The Encounter in the Stars. Heading, A Meeting Beyond Worlds. In the vast expanse of space, aboard the interstellar research vessel Celestial Horizon, Commander Lyra Voss was overseeing the final preparations for their mission to explore the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Galaxy. The ship was a marvel of human engineering, equipped with the latest in quantum propulsion and advanced AI systems. Lyra, a seasoned astronaut with a reputation for her calm demeanor and sharp intellect, was the perfect leader for such a daring expedition. As the Celestial Horizon approached a mysterious nebula, the crew detected an unusual energy signature. The ship's AI, named Athena, alerted Lyra to the anomaly. "Commander, we are picking up a signal that does not match any known celestial phenomena. It appears to be artificial in nature," Athena reported. Lyra's curiosity was piqued. "Set a course for the source of the signal. Let's see what we're dealing with," she ordered. The crew, a diverse group of scientists and engineers, exchanged excited glances. This was the kind of discovery they had hoped for when they signed up for the mission. As the ship drew closer, the source of the signal came into view. It was a massive structure, unlike anything they had ever seen. The structure was a blend of organic and mechanical elements, with pulsating lights that seemed to breathe with a life of their own. "This is incredible," whispered Dr. Elias Trent, the ship's chief xenobiologist. "It's as if the structure is alive." Lyra ordered a scan of the structure. The results were baffling. The energy readings were off the charts, and the materials used in its construction were unknown to human science. "Athena, can you establish communication with the structure?" Lyra asked. "Attempting to establish communication now," Athena replied. Moments later, a holographic interface appeared on the bridge, displaying a series of symbols and patterns. "It appears to be a form of language, but it is unlike anything in our databases," Athena informed them. Dr. Trent stepped forward, his eyes wide with excitement. "This could be the first contact with an alien civilization. We need to decode this language." The crew worked tirelessly, using the ship's advanced computational resources to analyze the symbols. After hours of effort, they managed to decipher a basic message: "Welcome, travelers. We have been waiting." The message sent a shiver down Lyra's spine. "Athena, prepare a landing party. We need to investigate this structure further," she commanded. The landing party consisted of Lyra, Dr. Trent, and Lieutenant Marcus Hale, the ship's security officer. They suited up and boarded a shuttle, heading towards the enigmatic structure. As they approached, the structure's surface seemed to ripple, as if acknowledging their presence. The shuttle landed on a platform that extended from the structure, and the team stepped out, their suits equipped with sensors to record every detail. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and the walls of the structure seemed to pulse with a rhythmic beat. "Stay close, and keep your comms open," Lyra instructed as they ventured deeper into the structure. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each filled with strange artifacts and glowing orbs. Dr. Trent was in awe, constantly stopping to examine the alien technology. "This is beyond anything we've ever encountered. The level of sophistication is staggering," he remarked. As they explored, they came across a large chamber with a central dais. On the dais was a holographic projection of a being, humanoid in shape but with features that were distinctly alien. The being's skin had a metallic sheen, and its eyes glowed with an inner light. It spoke in a melodic voice, the words translated by their suit's AI. "Greetings, travelers from Earth. We are the keepers of the Nexus. We have watched your species for millennia, waiting for the day you would reach the stars." Lyra stepped forward, her heart racing. "We come in peace. We seek knowledge and understanding," she replied. The being nodded, its expression serene. "You have much to learn, and we are here to guide you. But be warned, the path to enlightenment is fraught with challenges. Are you prepared to face them?" Lyra exchanged glances with her team. They had come this far, and there was no turning back. "We are ready," she declared. The being smiled, a gesture that transcended species. "Then let us begin." The holographic projection dissolved, and the chamber was filled with a soft, golden light. The walls seemed to come alive, displaying images of distant worlds and advanced civilizations. The team was overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. "This is incredible," Dr. Trent whispered, his voice filled with awe. As they absorbed the knowledge, Lyra felt a sense of responsibility settle over her. This was not just a discovery, it was a turning point for humanity. The keepers of the Nexus had chosen them to be the bearers of this knowledge, and she knew that their lives would never be the same. The journey had only just begun, and the mysteries of the universe were waiting to be unraveled. With the guidance of the keepers, Lyra and her team were about to embark on an adventure that would change the course of human history. Part 2: The Trials of the Nexus. Heading: The Path to Enlightenment. The golden light that filled the chamber slowly dimmed, leaving the team in a state of awe and anticipation. The holographic projection of the keeper reappeared, its metallic skin shimmering with an otherworldly glow. "You have taken the first step on your journey," it said, its voice resonating with a deep, melodic tone. "But the path to true enlightenment is not without its trials. You must prove your worthiness to receive the knowledge we offer." Lyra exchanged a determined glance with her team. "We are ready to face whatever challenges you present," she declared, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. The keeper nodded, its expression unreadable but somehow conveying a sense of approval. "Very well. Your first trial begins now." The chamber around them began to shift, the walls dissolving into a swirling vortex of light and color. The team felt a strange sensation, as if they were being pulled through space and time. When the vortex cleared, they found themselves standing on a barren, rocky landscape under a sky filled with two suns. The air was thin, and the ground was cracked and dry, with no signs of life in sight. "Welcome to the first trial," the keeper's voice echoed in their minds. "This is the planet of Solara, a world that has been ravaged by its own inhabitants. Your task is to restore balance to this world and bring life back to its surface. You have 3 days to complete this task. Fail, and you will remain here forever." The team looked around, taking in the desolate landscape. "This is impossible," Lieutenant Marcus Hale muttered, his voice tinged with frustration. "How are we supposed to bring life back to a dead planet in 3 days?" Dr. Elias Trent, ever the optimist, was already scanning the environment with his portable analyzer. "There must be a way. The keepers wouldn't give us a task that's truly impossible. We just need to figure out the key." Lyra nodded in agreement. "Let's split up and search for any clues or resources that might help us. Marcus, you take the north sector. Elias, you take the east. I'll head west. We'll meet back here in 2 hours." As they set off in different directions, Lyra couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The landscape was eerily silent, with no signs of movement or life. She reached a rocky outcrop and climbed to the top, hoping to get a better view of the area. From her vantage point, she could see a faint glimmer in the distance, like a reflection of light off water. "Athena, do you see that?" Lyra asked, activating her suit's communication link with the ship's AI. "Yes, Commander. It appears to be a small oasis, approximately 2 kilometers from your current position," Athena replied. "I recommend investigating it." Lyra made her way to the oasis, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she approached, she saw that it was indeed a small pool of water, surrounded by a few hardy plants. The water was crystal clear, and the plants were a vibrant green, a stark contrast to the barren landscape around them. She knelt by the pool and dipped her hand into the water. It was cool and refreshing, and she felt a surge of hope. This could be the key, she thought. If we can find a way to spread this water and these plants, we might be able to restore life to this planet. Lyra collected samples of the water and plants, storing them in her suit's sample containers. She then activated her comm link to the rest of the team. "I've found something. Meet me at my location as soon as possible." When the team regrouped at the oasis, they quickly got to work. Dr. Trent analyzed the samples and discovered that the water contained a unique mineral composition that could potentially stimulate plant growth. "If we can replicate this water and distribute it across the planet, we might be able to kickstart the ecosystem," he explained. Marcus, ever the pragmatist, pointed out the obvious problem. "But how are we supposed to distribute it? We don't have the resources or the time to cover the entire planet." Lyra thought for a moment, then had an idea. "What if we use the ship's atmospheric processors? We can modify them to disperse the water as a fine mist, covering a large area in a short amount of time." The team quickly got to work, using the resources they had to modify the atmospheric processors. It was a race against time, but they worked tirelessly, driven by the knowledge that their very survival depended on their success. As the final hours of the trial approached, the team activated the modified processors. A fine mist began to spread across the landscape, carrying the life-giving water and minerals with it. Slowly but surely, the barren ground began to change. Small patches of green appeared, spreading rapidly as the mist continued to disperse. The team watched in awe as the planet began to come back to life. The air grew thicker, and the temperature became more moderate. The once dead landscape was now teeming with new growth, a testament to their ingenuity and determination. As the 3-day deadline passed, the keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. "You have succeeded in your first trial. You have shown that you possess the creativity and resourcefulness needed to restore balance to a broken world. But your journey is far from over. Prepare yourselves, for the next trial will test your resolve and your ability to face the unknown." The landscape around them began to shift once more, and the team felt the familiar sensation of being pulled through space and time. When the vortex cleared, they found themselves in a completely different environment, one that would challenge them in ways they could never have imagined. Part 3, The Labyrinth of Shadows. Heading, into the unknown. The team found themselves in a dark, labyrinthine structure, with walls that seemed to shift and change as they moved. The air was thick with an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. The keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. "Welcome to the Labyrinth of Shadows. Your second trial is to navigate this maze and find the exit. But beware, for the labyrinth is alive, and it will test your courage and your ability to face your deepest fears." Lyra took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. "All right, team. We need to stick together and stay focused. This place is designed to mess with our minds, so we need to trust each other and keep our wits about us." The team moved cautiously through the maze, their suits' lights providing the only illumination in the oppressive darkness. The walls seemed to close in around them, and the air grew colder with each step. They soon realized that the labyrinth was not just a physical challenge, but a psychological one as well. As they turned a corner, they were confronted with a series of holographic projections, each one depicting a different fear or memory from their past. Lyra saw images of her family, their faces filled with disappointment and regret. Marcus was confronted with visions of his failures as a soldier, while Elias was haunted by the loss of a loved one. The projections were so vivid and real that it was difficult to distinguish them from reality. Lyra felt a wave of despair wash over her, but she quickly shook it off. "This is just an illusion," she reminded herself. "We need to stay strong and keep moving." The team pressed on, their determination unwavering despite the psychological onslaught. They encountered various obstacles along the way, from collapsing floors to shifting walls, but they worked together to overcome each challenge. Their bond as a team grew stronger with each trial, and they began to understand the true meaning of trust and cooperation. As they neared the center of the labyrinth, they were confronted with their greatest challenge yet. The walls of the maze seemed to close in around them, forming a narrow passage that led to a large, circular chamber. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal, upon which rested a glowing orb. The keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. This is the final test of the labyrinth of shadows. To proceed, one of you must take the orb and face your greatest fear. Only then will the exit be revealed. The team exchanged uneasy glances. They knew that this was the moment of truth, and that one of them would have to confront their deepest fear in order to save the others. Lyra stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. "I'll do it," she declared. "I'm the leader of this team, and it's my responsibility to see us through this." She approached the pedestal and reached out to take the orb. As soon as her hand touched it, she was transported to a dark, desolate landscape. She was alone, surrounded by the ruins of a once great civilization. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the ground was littered with the remnants of a catastrophic war. Lyra felt a wave of despair wash over her as she realized that this was a vision of Earth's future. She saw the destruction of everything she had ever known and loved, and the weight of it threatened to crush her. But then she remembered her team, and the mission they had undertaken. She knew that they were counting on her, and that she couldn't let them down. With a deep breath, Lyra pushed through the despair and focused on the task at hand. She knew that this was just an illusion, a test of her resolve. She closed her eyes and concentrated on the image of her team, their faces filled with determination and hope. When she opened her eyes, the vision had faded, and she was back in the chamber with the orb in her hand. The walls of the labyrinth began to shift once more, and a path leading to the exit appeared. The team quickly made their way out, their hearts filled with a sense of accomplishment and relief. They had faced their fears and emerged stronger for it. As they stepped out of the labyrinth, the keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. "You have succeeded in your second trial. You have shown that you possess the courage and determination needed to face your deepest fears. But your journey is far from over. Prepare yourselves, for the next trial will test your ability to adapt and overcome the unknown." The landscape around them began to shift once more, and the team felt the familiar sensation of being pulled through space and time. When the vortex cleared, they found themselves in a completely different environment, one that would challenge them in ways they could never have imagined. Part 4: The City of Eternal Night. Heading: A World Without Light. The team found themselves in a vast, sprawling city, but it was unlike any city they had ever seen. The sky was perpetually dark, with no stars or moon to illuminate the landscape. The buildings were tall and imposing, their surfaces covered in a strange, bioluminescent moss that provided the only source of light. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional sound of distant footsteps. The keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. "Welcome to the City of Eternal Night. Your third trial is to find the source of the darkness and restore light to this world. But beware, for the city is filled with dangers, and the inhabitants are not what they seem." Lyra took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. "All right, team. We need to stick together and stay focused. This place is designed to test our ability to adapt and overcome the unknown. We need to trust each other and keep our wits about us." The team moved cautiously through the city, their suits' lights providing the only illumination in the oppressive darkness. The buildings loomed over them, their surfaces covered in the strange, bioluminescent moss. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional sound of distant footsteps. As they ventured deeper into the city, they began to encounter the inhabitants. They were humanoid in shape, but their skin was pale and translucent, with glowing veins that pulsed with a faint light. Their eyes were large and black, with no visible pupils, and they moved with a strange, fluid grace. The inhabitants seemed to be aware of the team's presence, but they made no move to approach or interact with them. Instead, they simply watched from the shadows, their glowing eyes following the team's every move. Lyra felt a shiver run down her spine. These people, they're not hostile, but they're not friendly either. We need to be careful. The team continued to explore the city, searching for any clues that might lead them to the source of the darkness. They soon came across a large, central plaza, where a massive, ancient tree stood in the center. The tree was unlike anything they had ever seen, with branches that twisted and turned in impossible ways, and leaves that glowed with a soft, golden light. As they approached the tree, they were confronted by a group of the city's inhabitants. They formed a circle around the tree, their glowing eyes fixed on the team. One of them stepped forward, a tall, imposing figure with a regal bearing. "You are not from this world," it said, its voice echoing with a deep, resonant tone. "Why have you come here?" Lyra stepped forward, her heart pounding in her chest. "We come in peace. We seek to restore light to your world and bring an end to the eternal night." The figure regarded her with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. "The darkness is a part of our world, a curse that we have borne for generations. What makes you think you can change that?" Lyra took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. "We believe that the darkness is not a curse, but a challenge. And we are here to face that challenge and bring light back to your world." The figure studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. If you wish to restore light to our world, you must first prove your worth. The tree you see before you is the source of our world's light, but it has been corrupted by the darkness. You must cleanse the tree and restore its light." The team exchanged uneasy glances. They knew that this was the moment of truth, and that they would have to face the darkness head-on in order to save the city. Lyra stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. "We'll do it," she declared. "We'll cleanse the tree and restore light to your world." The figure nodded, then stepped aside, allowing the team to approach the tree. As they drew closer, they could feel the darkness emanating from it, a cold, oppressive force that seemed to sap the very life from their bodies. The tree's branches twisted and turned, as if trying to reach out and grab them, and the leaves that once glowed with a soft, golden light were now black and withered. Lyra reached out and placed her hand on the tree's trunk, feeling the darkness pulse beneath her fingertips. She closed her eyes and concentrated, trying to connect with the tree's energy. She could feel the darkness, a cold, malevolent force that had taken root in the tree's core. But she could also feel a faint glimmer of light, a spark of hope that had not yet been extinguished. With a deep breath, Lyra focused on that spark, pouring all of her energy and determination into it. She could feel the darkness fighting back, trying to overwhelm her, but she refused to give up. She knew that the fate of the city, and perhaps the entire world, depended on her success. As she continued to focus, she felt a surge of energy flow through her, a warm, golden light that began to spread through the tree's branches. The darkness began to recede, pushed back by the light. The tree's leaves began to glow once more, their golden light spreading through the plaza and illuminating the city. The inhabitants of the city watched in awe as the light spread, their glowing eyes filled with hope and wonder. The darkness that had plagued their world for generations was finally being pushed back, and the city was coming back to life. As the light continued to spread, the keeper's voice echoed in their minds once more. "You have succeeded in your third trial. You have shown that you possess the ability to adapt and overcome the unknown. But your journey is far from over. Prepare yourselves, for the next trial will test your ability to face the ultimate challenge." The landscape around them began to shift once more, and the team felt the familiar sensation of being pulled through space and time. When the vortex cleared, they found themselves in a completely different environment, one that would challenge them in ways they could never have imagined.